Blood pools under Malik Jackson's cheek, pressed to the boutique floor in Crestwood, Georgia, as a white clerk screeches he's a thief. Cops wrench his wrists into cuffs, assuming guilt. Then his mother, Vanessa Jackson, FBI chief, bursts in, badge flashing, silencing the chaos. Officers freeze, jaws drop, but victory splinters when a gunshot cracks outside. Malik's eyes widen, dread sinking in. This isn't the end. Racism's shadow promises a brutal fight ahead. What explodes next when power clashes with hate? Before we dive in, let us know where you're watching from, and if you stand for justice, hit like and subscribe because tomorrow's twist-filled episode will leave you stunned. Malik Jackson adjusts his unzipped hoodie, the late March sun warming his back as he strides down Crestwood's oak-lined Main Street, a wealthy Georgia suburb where manicured lawns and pastel houses gleam with quiet privilege. At 17, he's all wiry limbs and cautious hope, his dark eyes fixed on Lila's boutique ahead, its gold-lettered sign promising luxury. He's got $600 in his pocket, earned tutoring rich kids in algebra after school, every crumpled bill a testament to months of late nights and skipped meals. Today's special, though, his dad's birthday, and Malik's hunted for the perfect gift. A sleek leather wallet he spotted in the boutique's window weeks ago, $80 of stitched perfection that'll make his old man grin. He clutches, his wallet tighter, feeling the weight of his savings. Pride swelling in his chest despite the familiar knot of unease that twists whenever he steps into places like this. Crestwood isn't his world, not with its pearl-clutching housewives and country club dads who eyeball him like he's a smudge on their polished lives. He shakes it off, running a hand over his close-cropped hair, his polo shirt crisp under the hoodie, a shield against the stares he knows are coming. Just get in. Buy it, get out, he tells himself, rehearsing the plan like a prayer. The boutique's glass door reflects his lanky frame as he nears, and he pauses, catching his breath, the faint hum of traffic buzzing behind him. This isn't just a purchase, it's a promise, a way to show his dad he's making something of himself, despite the whispers that follow black kids like him in a town like this. He pulls the door open, a chime tinkling overhead, and steps into a world of gleaming excess. Inside Lila's boutique, the air smells of lavender and money, sharp lights bouncing off glass cases stuffed with gold chains and diamond studs. Velvet shelves line the walls, cradling purses that cost more than his family's rent, while soft classical music drifts from hidden speakers. A few customers, older white women in tailored blazers, drift between displays, their manicured nails tapping against glass as they coo over earrings. Malik feels their glances quick and cutting, but he keeps his head up, zeroing in on the counter where the wallets sit, the leather one he wants nestled between a brown satchel and a silver keychain. His sneakers squeak faintly on the polished tile, and he winces, shoving his hands deeper into his pockets. Behind the counter stands Evelyn Harper, mid-50s, her blonde hair teased into a stiff bob, her pinched face framed by wire-rimmed glasses that magnify her cold blue eyes. She's fussing with a stack of receipts, her lips pursed in a tight line, but when Malik steps into her line of sight, her head snaps up, and something shifts. Her fingers freeze mid-motion, her gaze raking over him. Hoodie, jeans, black skin, like she's solving a puzzle she already hates. He feels it instantly, that prickling weight, the silent accusation she doesn't bother to hide. Her lips twitch, not quite a sneer but close, and her posture stiffens, one hand sliding toward the edge of the counter, like she's bracing for trouble. Malik's stomach clenches, but he forces a smile, the polite one his mom drilled into him for moments like this, when the air gets thick with unspoken rules he's supposed to follow. He clears his throat, stepping up to the counter, and points at the leather wallet in the case, its dark surface glinting under the lights. "Can I see that one, please?" he says, keeping his voice steady, calm, the way he's been taught to sound when he's the only black face in the room. Evelyn doesn't move, not at first. She folds her arms, tilting her head just enough to look down her nose at him, her glasses catching the light in a way that makes her eyes look sharper, meaner. "Are you sure?" she asks, her voice slow and thick with something that stings, like she's talking to a kid who wandered too far from home. "That one's quite expensive." Malik blinks, the words landing like a slap, but he keeps his face neutral, reaching into his pocket for his wallet, the worn leather soft against his fingers. He pulls it out, flipping it open to reveal the stack of bills, neatly folded. More than enough to cover the $80 plus tax. "I'm sure," he says, firmer now, holding her gaze. "I have the money right here." Evelyn's eyes flick to the cash, and for a split second he thinks she'll back off, but instead her lips curl. A faint twist that says she's not impressed, she's insulted. Her fingers twitch near the phone on the counter and she lets out a soft huff, a sound that's almost a laugh but colder. "And where exactly did you get all that money?" she says, her tone casual but edged with venom, like she's dangling a trap he's too dumb to see. Malik's chest tightens, heat creeping up his neck, but he swallows it down, keeping his voice even. "Excuse me," he says, though he knows damn well where this is going. Evelyn arches an eyebrow, leaning forward slightly, her nails tapping a slow rhythm against the counter. "It's just a lot of cash for someone your age," she says, her eyes locked on his, daring him to flinch. "Did you, I don't know, borrow it from someone? Maybe find it lying around?" Malik's jaw clenches, his pulse thudding in his ears, but he forces himself to breathe, to stay calm. "I work," he says, each word clipped and deliberate. "I tutor kids after school, saved up for this." Evelyn makes a small noise, a hum that drips, with disbelief, her head tilting as if he's told her the moon's made of candy. "Saved up," she echoes, smirking now, her fingers still hovering near the phone. "And you expect me to believe that?" Malik's hands curl into fists at his sides, nails digging into his palms, but he doesn't let it show, not yet. "Yes," he says, flat and hard, meeting her stare. Evelyn chuckles, dry and sharp, like she's caught him in a lie he's too naive to hide. "Well, I suppose I should be flattered you thought you could fool me," she says, finally moving toward the case. "But I've been here too long, kid. I know when something doesn't add up." Malik's throat burns, anger bubbling under his skin, but he bites it back, nodding at the wallet again. "Can I just see it, please?" he says, his patience fraying, his voice tight. Evelyn sighs, loud and dramatic, like he's wasting her precious time, but she bends down, unlocking the case with a jingle of keys, pulling out a velvet tray. She sets it on the counter, the wallet perched on top, and folds her arms again, watching him like a hawk. "Be careful with it," she snaps, her tone slicing through the air. "It's worth more than you probably make in a year." Malik grits his teeth, the jab landing hard, but he doesn't bite, reaching for the wallet instead, his fingers brushing the smooth leather. It's perfect. Just like he imagined, the stitching tight, the smell rich and new, everything he wanted for his dad. He turns it over, admiring the grain, and for a moment, he forgets Evelyn, forgets the stares, lost in the small victory of holding it. But then it happens, his grip slips, nerves or sweat or just bad luck, and the wallet tumbles from his hand, hitting the glass counter with a dull thud before bouncing to the tile floor below. His breath catches, heart lurching as he bends to grab it, but Evelyn's faster, her voice exploding in a shrill, piercing shriek that rips through the store. "Oh my God, I knew it!" she yells, her face twisting into a mask of outrage, her finger jabbing at him like a loaded gun. Every head in the room snaps toward them, the air thickening with shock and judgment. Malik freezes halfway to the floor, his eyes wide as her words slam into him. "Wait," he starts, but she cuts him off, lunging for the phone, her hands shaking with righteous fury. "I knew you were up to something," she shouts, her voice bouncing off the walls. "You were trying to pocket it, weren't you? Thought you'd get away with it." Malik's stomach drops, a cold sweat breaking out across his skin as he straightens, hands up, the wallet still on the floor. "What?" "No, he stammers, but she's already dialing, her fingers stabbing the buttons like she's calling in a bomb. "Threat. Get the police here now," she barks into the receiver, her voice trembling with adrenaline. "We've got a thief, young black male, hoodie, tried to steal from us." Malik's world tilts, the room spinning as her lie sinks in, heavy and suffocating. The customers shift, a woman in a silk scarf clutching her purse, an old man muttering, under his breath, their eyes boring into him like he's already guilty. He wants to scream, to point at the cash still sitting on the counter, but his throat locks up, fear and rage choking him silent. Then the door bangs open, 2 cops storming in, boots pounding the tile, hands on their holsters, and Malik's heart slams against his ribs as they zero in on him, Evelyn's smirk glinting like a blade in the corner of his eye. Malik Jackson sits slumped on the cold tile of Lila's boutique, his wrists aching where the cuffs bite into his skin, the metallic clink echoing in his ears as Officer Grant tightens them with a grunt. His cheek stings from where it kissed. The floor. A dull throb pulsing under his left eye, and he can still hear Evelyn Harper's voice, shrill and triumphant, ringing in his skull as she paces behind the counter, her heels clicking like a countdown to his ruin. The air in the boutique is thick, heavy with the scent of lavender, and the weight of every stare drilling into him, the customer's whispers buzzing like flies around a corpse. He keeps his head down, staring at the scuffed toe of his sneaker, the leather wallet lying abandoned a few feet away, its dark surface mocking him with how close he'd come to walking out with it. Officer Grant, a hulking man with grey stubble and a sneer carved into his face, looms over him, barking orders to stand still, while Officer Patel, younger, wiry, with dark eyes that flicker with something less certain, hovers near the door, his hand resting uneasily on his radio. Malik's chest tightens, each breath shallow and sharp, his mind racing through a dozen what-ifs. What if they don't listen? What if they shoot? What if this ends like all those stories his mom warned him about late at night when she thought he was asleep? He'd called her, his mom, Vanessa Jackson, right before Grant slammed him down, his phone snatched away mid-dial. But he prays she heard enough, prays she's coming, because if she doesn't, he's not sure how this ends. Evelyn's still, ranting, her voice slicing through the hum of the store, telling Grant how she knew Malik was trouble the second he walked in, how he tried to pocket that wallet like some slick criminal, her lies piling up like bricks around him. Grant nods, eating it up, his meaty hand flexing on his holster, while Patel shifts his weight, glancing at the cash still sitting on the counter, $600 in crumpled bills that nobody's bothered to check. Malik's throat burns, anger and fear twisting into a knot he can't swallow, but he keeps his mouth shut, knowing one wrong word could turn this into something he won't walk away from. Outside, the faint wail of a car engine grows louder, tires screeching against asphalt, and Malik's heart lurches, hope flickering like a match in the dark. The boutique door flies open, slamming against the wall with a crack that silences the room, and there she is, Vanessa Jackson, striding in like a storm breaking over Crestwood. She's tall, her navy blazer hugging her frame, her heels striking the tile with a rhythm that demands attention, her dark skin glowing under the boutique's harsh lights, her sharp eyes so much like Malik's scanning the scene with a fury that could melt steel. She holds up her badge, the gold FBI shield catching the light, and her voice cuts through the air, crisp and commanding. "I'm Vanessa Jackson, Chief of the Atlanta Field Office," she says, her tone leaving no room for doubt. "And that's my son you've got in cuffs." The room freezes, a collective breath held too long, and Malik feels the shift, the way Grant's grip on his arm falters, the way Evelyn's jaw drops, her pinched face paling as if she's seen a ghost. Patel's eyes widen, darting between Vanessa and Malik, while the customers shuffle back, their whispers dying into stunned silence. Vanessa doesn't wait for them to catch up, stepping forward, her presence swallowing the space, and she locks eyes with Grant, her gaze a blade. "Uncuff him now," she says, "not a request, an order." And Grant bristles, his thick neck reddening, but he can't argue with that badge, not yet. He fumbles with the keys, muttering under his breath something about procedure, but Vanessa's already kneeling beside Malik, her hand firm on his shoulder, her voice softening just enough for him to hear. "You okay, baby?" she asks, and he nods, shaky, the relief flooding through him like cool water on a burn. The cuffs click open, and he rubs his wrists, standing as Vanessa pulls him into a quick, fierce hug, her arms a shield against the chaos. He breathes her in, the faint scent of her jasmine perfume grounding him, and for a moment he thinks it's over, thinks he's safe. Evelyn stammers, her hands fluttering like trapped birds, trying to spit out an excuse. "I didn't know I thought he was," she starts, but Vanessa doesn't even glance her way, her focus still on the cops, her authority bending the room to her will. Grant steps back, his sneer twisting into something uglier, and as Vanessa leads, Malik toward the door, he mutters under his breath, low but loud enough to carry. Better check this kid's record, probably a long one. Malik stiffens, the words a punch to the gut, and Vanessa pauses, her head turning just slightly, but she doesn't bite, not yet. Just keeps moving, her grip tight on his arm. They step outside, the Georgia air warm and sticky against his skin, and Malik exhales, thinking he's dodged the worst, thinking his mum's power has shut this down. But Grant's words linger, a promise of something darker, and as Vanessa's SUV pulls away, Malik can't shake the feeling that this isn't the end, that the hate he saw in that store has claws longer than he imagined. What do you think? Should a cop like Grant face real consequences for jumping the gun? Comment number 1 if you agree. Hit like if you're fired up about this, and subscribe, because this story's only getting wilder. How far will a bigot like him go to twist the truth? Keep watching to find out. Was Vanessa's badge enough to stop this? Or is Malik still a target in their eyes? Stick around to see what's brewing next. Could a single slur unravel everything she just fought for? The answer's coming up fast. Malik Jackson slumps on the couch in his family's Crestwood living room, the late afternoon sun slanting through the blinds, casting jagged shadows across the hardwood floor. His wrists still ache from the cuffs, red welts blooming where metal bit into skin, and he presses an ice pack to his swollen cheek, the cold numbing the throb but not the memory of Evelyn Harper's shrieks or Officer Grant's meaty hands slamming him down. The TV hums low in the background, some cooking show his dad left on, but Malik's not watching. His eyes fixed on the ceiling, replaying the boutique chaos like a loop he can't escape. His mum, Vanessa Jackson, is in the kitchen, her voice a steady murmur as she talks on the phone, probably to her FBI team, her heels clicking faintly against the tile. He'd hugged her tight when they got home, her jasmine scent a lifeline, and she'd promised it was over, that she'd handle it, but Grant's muttered slur, better check this kid's record, gnaws at him. A splinter he can't dig out. He shifts, wincing as the ice shifts too, and tries to focus on tomorrow. His dad's birthday, the leather wallet still sitting on that boutique counter, out of reach now. The house feels safe, its beige walls lined with family photos. Him and his dad grinning at a fishing trip, his mom in her dress blues at some ceremony. But the quiet's fragile, like glass waiting to shatter. His phone buzzes on the cushion beside him. A text from his buddy Terrell, "You good man saw the news," and Malik starts to type back when a notification pings, a news alert from the Crestwood Gazette. His stomach drops as he taps it, the headline, "Screaming in bold black teen suspect resists arrest at Lila's boutique," sources say. The story's short, vicious, claiming he fought Officer Grant, that he's got a history of trouble, all lies stitched together with a blurry photo of him. Cuffed on the floor, hoodie bunched up, eyes wide with fear they'll spin as guilt. His breath catches, hands trembling as he scrolls, and there's a quote from an anonymous cop, sounds like Grant, saying the kid's lucky he wasn't locked up longer, mother or not. Malik's chest burns, rage and panic clawing up his throat. Because this isn't just gossip, it's a bomb and he knows who lit the fuse. Vanessa's voice cuts off mid-sentence in the kitchen, her phone clattering to the counter as she strides in, her sharp eyes catching his expression. "What's wrong?" she asks, and he holds up the phone, wordless, her face hardening as she reads. "That bastard Grant," she mutters, snatching her own phone to call her deputy, but the damage is rolling, unstoppable now. The TV flickers. The cooking show replaced by a breaking news chyron, Crestwood incident sparks outrage, and there's Evelyn Harper on screen, her blonde bob quivering as she dabs at fake tears with a tissue, her voice shaking with rehearsed terror. "I feared for my life," she says, clutching her chest. "He came in looking suspicious, dropped that wallet like he was testing me, and when I called him out, he got aggressive. I had no choice but to call the police." Malik's jaw clenches so hard his teeth ache, his fists curling into the couch cushions, because she's lying through her teeth, painting him as some hulking threat when he'd barely raised his voice. The anchor nods solemnly, cutting to a shot of the boutique, then back to Evelyn, who sniffles, "I just wanted to protect my store, my customers. You don't know what it's like to feel that vulnerable." Vanessa snorts loud and bitter, pacing now, her heels a staccato beat. But Malik can't look away, the screen searing her words into his brain, vulnerable, like she's the victim here, not him with bruises blooming on his face. The news cuts to a local pundit, some slick-haired guy in a suit saying, "This is what happens when people don't respect authority." And Malik's stomach twists, knowing Crestwood's eating it up, the kind of town where folks lock their doors when he jogs. Vanessa's on the phone again, barking orders, "Get me that footage, I want it public," but Malik's not listening. His ears ringing as he stares out the window, the golden dusk turning grey. Then he hears it, a low rumble growing louder, voices, sharp and angry, cutting through the hum of crickets, and his heart lurches as he peels back the blinds. Outside, a mob's gathering, maybe 20, 30 people. Crestwood residents with flushed faces and clenched fists, men in polo shirts and women with designer bags, their shouts blending into a wall of noise. "Go back where you came from, thief. We don't want your kind here." Malik's breath hitches, his legs locking as he spots baseball bats, a glint of metal, maybe a crowbar, and then a rock sails through the air, crashing through his bedroom window upstairs with a shatter that echoes in his bones. Glass rains down inside, a jagged scream tearing from his throat as he ducks, the ice pack slipping to the floor with a wet thud. Vanessa drops her phone, rushing to him, her hand gripping his arm. "Stay down," she says, her voice steel, but her eyes are wide, scanning the chaos outside. The mob surges closer, another rock smashing the porch light, plunging the yard into shadow, and Malik's pulse hammers, his mind flashing to the news, to Grant's leak, to Evelyn's crocodile tears. Because this isn't random. This is them, their hate spilling out like oil from a busted pipe. A man in a red cap yells, "Your mom can't save you now, punk." And Malik's skin crawls, realizing Grant's cronies must be here, feeding this fire, turning a lie into a war. Vanessa's already dialing again, her voice sharp. "I need backup. At my house now, Crestwood PD, state police, anyone." But the line crackles, the dispatcher hemming and hawing. "We're stretched thin, Chief. Might take a while." Malik's stomach plummets, his hands shaking as he crawls to the window. Peering through the gap, the mob's faces twisted with a fury he's seen in history books, but never this close, never aimed at him. A woman with a platinum ponytail hurls a bottle. It smashes against the siding, brown liquid streaking down, and the smell of beer hits him even through the glass. His dad's voice calls from the stairs, "What the hell's going on?" And Malik turns, seeing him stumble down, still in his work shirt, eyes bleary from a nap, but Vanessa's already moving, shoving Malik toward the hall. "Get to the back, both of you," she says, her tone brooking no argument. Another crash. This time the living room window, glass exploding inward, shards skittering across the floor like ice, and Malik's heart slams against his ribs as he grabs his dad's arm, pulling him away from the chaos. The mob's chants. "Grow louder. Justice for Evelyn. Teach him a lesson." And Malik's chest burns because this isn't justice, this is a lynching with better lighting, and he knows it's tied to that boutique, to Grant's grudge, to the color of his skin in a town that's never wanted him. Vanessa's at the front door now, her gun drawn but held low, shouting into the night. "This is FBI property. Disperse or you're all under arrest." But the mob laughs, a guttural roar, and a brick sails past her head, missing by inches, cracking. The wall behind her. Malik's dad coughs, his breath ragged. "What did you do, son?" And Malik shakes his head. "Nothing, I swear." But the words feel hollow, drowned by the hate crashing against their home. Vanessa slams the door shut, locking it, her face a mask of fury and fear. And Malik sinks to the floor, his back against the wall, glass crunching under his sneakers, knowing backup's not coming fast enough, knowing this is just the start. That Grant's poison has roots deeper than he feared, and the night's only getting darker. Malik Jackson crouches in the shadowed hallway of his Crestwood home, glass crunching under his sneakers, as the mob's roars fade into the night, their taunts still echoing in his skull. "Thief. Go back where you came from. Your mum can't save you." His dad huddles beside him, coughing into his sleeve, his work shirt streaked with dust from the shattered windows, while Vanessa Jackson stands at the front door, her FBI badge clipped to her blazer, her gun still in hand, her voice a low growl as she mutters into her phone, "Where's my damn backup?" The air smells of beer and smoke, the mob's bottles and rocks leaving scars on the walls, And Malik's chest heaves, his pulse a frantic drumbeat, his bruised cheek throbbing under the melting ice pack he'd dropped somewhere in the chaos. Sirens finally wail in the distance, too late to stop the damage, and the crowd scatters red-faced Crestwood residents melting back into their manicured lawns like nothing happened. Vanessa slams the door shut, her heels clicking as she turns to Malik, her sharp eyes softening just enough to check him over. "You hurt, baby?" she asks, and he shakes his head, though his wrists sting and his heart's still racing. "I'm fine, Mom, just shaken." His dad grunts, pulling himself up. "What the hell was that about, son?" And Malik's throat tightens. "It's that store, that clerk, they're lying about me," but the words feel small against the wreckage around them. Vanessa's jaw clenches, her fingers curling into fists. "Grant," she spits, "that son of a bitch leaked something, and Evelyn's fanning the flames. I'll bury them both." She's already moving, dialing her deputy again, her voice crisp. "Get me the boutique footage, every second of it, and push it to every news outlet by morning. I want this public now." Malik slumps against the wall, his legs shaky, watching her. Work, her authority a lifeline he clings to, because if anyone can fix this, it's her, right? Hours later, dawn breaks over Crestwood, the sky a bruised purple, and Malik sprawled on the couch, eyes gritty from no sleep, the TV flickering with static as his dad sweeps glass into a pile, muttering about insurance. Vanessa bursts in. From her office, her blazer wrinkled, but her posture unbroken. "It's done," she says, tossing her phone onto the table. "Footage is out, CNN, MSNBC, even the local stations, they've got it all." Malik scrambles for the remote, flipping channels until he lands on a live broadcast. The anchor's voice cutting through, breaking news out of Crestwood, Georgia. Security footage from Lila's boutique has surfaced, contradicting claims of theft by a local teen. The screen shifts and there it is, grainy but clear. Malik walking in, polite smile, pointing at the wallet. Pulling out cash, then the slip, the wallet hitting the floor, his hands up as Evelyn shrieks, "No theft, no aggression, just a kid trying to buy a gift." His breath catches, relief flooding through him like a wave, because this is it, proof undeniable, and the world's seeing it now. The anchor keeps going. The clerk, Evelyn Harper, alleged an attempted theft, but this video tells a different story, sparking outrage online, and Malik's phone buzzes non-stop. Texts from Terrell, classmates, even strangers. "Yo, they messed up. You're a legend. Stay strong." Vanessa nods, a rare smile tugging at her lips. They can't hide from this, baby. And Malik feels it, vindication, like the weight's lifting, like he's not just some thug in their eyes anymore. Social media explodes, hashtags trending. Justice for Malik. Crestwood lies, and Evelyn's face is everywhere. Her teary TV interview replayed next to the footage, her lies crumbling under the split-screen truth. Comments flood in, "She should be fired, racist hag, Crestwood's a disgrace," and Malik scrolls, his chest swelling. Because this feels like winning, like the mob's hate can't touch him now. The news cuts to a press conference. The Crestwood PD chief, a balding man with a tight tie, announcing Officer Grant's suspension pending investigation. His voice clipped, "We take these allegations seriously." And Malik pumps a fist. "Hell yes," he mutters, Grant's smug face flashing in his mind. That muttered slur finally biting him back. Vanessa's phone rings, her deputy confirming the suspension, and she claps Malik's shoulder. "We got 'em, they're scrambling now," and he grins, wide and real, the first time since the boutique that he feels light. He grabs his phone, opens the camera, and records a quick video. His voice steady despite the bruise shadowing his jaw. "Just want to say thanks to everyone out there who's got my back. The truth's out, and I'm not letting this define me. Peace." He posts it, watches the likes climb, hundreds then thousands, and leans back thinking, maybe this is over, maybe he's safe, maybe Crestwood will back off. But across town, in a dim basement that reeks of stale beer and cigarette ash, Officer Grant sits hunched over a folding table, his suspension letter crumpled in his fist, his grey stubble bristling as he snarls into a burner phone. His eyes, a bloodshot, fury twisting his features, and around him, half a dozen men in trucker hats and faded tees nod, their faces hard, knuckles scarred, a white supremacist crew he's known since his rookie days. "They're not done," he growls. "That kid and his bitch mom think they've won, but I've got plans. We'll hit 'em where it hurts." One of the men, a wiry guy with a shaved head and a swastika tattoo peeking from his sleeve, smirks, sliding a baggie of white powder across the table. School's the perfect spot. Plant this in his locker. Tip off the principal. He'll be gone. By lunch. Grant's lips curl, a predator's grin. Good, let's see how long their little victory lasts. And he pockets the drugs, already picturing Malik's fall. The footage be damned because he's not letting some black teen and his fancy mom take him down. Back at home, Malik's still riding the high oblivious, refreshing his phone as the views tick up. The world on his side for once, but the basement's shadows are creeping closer and the trap's already set. Hours later, he's at school. Crestwood High, the brick building buzzing with whispers as he walks the halls. Kids nodding at him, teachers avoiding his eyes, the footage making him a reluctant hero. He's late for chem, rushing to his locker, when the principal, a squat woman with a pinched mouth, steps in front of him, flanked by 2 security guards, her voice clipped. "Malik Jackson, we need to search your locker now." His stomach drops. "What? Why?" he stammers. But she's already nodding and a guard swings the metal door open, pulling out a baggie of white powder that glints under the fluorescent lights. Malik's knees buckle. "That's not mine, I swear," he says. "But the principal's." Shaking her head, "We've got a tip, you're suspended. Effective immediately, go home." The halls go quiet, kids staring, phones snapping pics, and Malik's world tilts, the triumph he'd felt hours ago shredding like wet paper, because this isn't random. This is Grant. This is revenge, and it's worse than the mob, worse than the cuffs, a knife in his future he can't dodge. He staggers out, the Georgia heat hitting him like a slap, and calls Vanessa, his voice breaking. "Mom, they set me up, they're not stopping." "What do you think? Is Malik's suspension a gut punch too far? Comment number 1 if you're raging at this twist. Smash that like button if you're rooting for his comeback, and subscribe because this fight's heating up fast. Should a crooked cop like Grant rot for this? Drop number 1 if you say yes, hit like if justice needs to strike back, and stick with us to see it unfold. Can Vanessa pull him out of this mess again, or is the system too rotten to crack? Keep watching to find out what hits next. Will Malik's school turn on him for good, or is there a way to flip this trap? The answer's coming. Don't miss it. Malik Jackson sits rigid in a folding chair at Crestwood High's admin office, the air stale with the scent of old coffee and dust, his hands clasped tight in his lap as the suspension hearing drags into its second hour. The room's small, walls lined with faded motivational posters, a single window letting in grey March light that does nothing to warm the chill crawling up his spine. His bruised cheek still aches, a dull pulse under his skin, and his hoodie feels too tight. The same one Evelyn Harper sneered at days ago, now a silent witness to this new fight. Across the scratched table, the principal, Mrs. Hargrove, adjusts her glasses, her pinched mouth set in a line, while 2 school board members, stiff in their suits, scribble notes, their eyes flicking to him like he's a puzzle they've already solved. Vanessa Jackson stands beside him, her navy blazer crisp despite the sleepless night, her sharp gaze locked on Hargrove, her voice steady as she lays out the case. "My son's been targeted. That footage from Lila's boutique proves he's no thief, and this drug charge is a setup, pure and simple." Malik's stomach churns, the memory of that baggie glinting in his locker flashing behind his eyes, the way the guards hauled him out, the whispers chasing him down the hall, all because of Grant's revenge. He's sure of it. Vanessa's lawyer, a wiry man named Kessler with a buzz cut and a briefcase full of papers, paces behind them, his tone sharp as he drops a bombshell. "We've got school security footage, time-stamped yesterday, showing an unidentified male tampering with Malik's locker, planting that bag, and it's not my client, check it yourselves." Hargrove blinks, her fingers tightening on her pen, and the board members exchange glances, a murmur rippling through the room as Kessler slams a USB drive. "Onto the table, play it," he says, and Malik's heart lurches, hope flickering like a spark in the dark. The principal hesitates, her lips pursing, but she nods, and a guard plugs the drive into a laptop, the screen flickering to life. There it is, grainy but damning, a man in a black cap, face shadowed, slipping into the hall after hours, prying. Open Malik's locker with a slim tool, dropping the baggie inside before vanishing into the night. Malik's breath catches, his fists unclenching. Because this is it, proof again that he's not the criminal they want him to be. Vanessa's hand squeezes his shoulder, her nails pressing faint crescents into his hoodie, and she leans forward. Her voice steel. That's not Malik, that's a setup, and I demand you reinstate him now before this goes federal. Hargrove's face sours, her eyes darting to the board, but they're nodding, one whispering to the other. We can't fight this, and after a tense minute she sighs. Fine, Mr. Jackson. You're reinstated, effective immediately, but we'll be watching you. Malik exhales, a shaky laugh bubbling up, relief flooding through him like rain on cracked earth, and Vanessa pulls him into a quick hug, her whisper fierce in his ear. We won this one, baby. They can't touch you now. He nods, grinning, the weight lifting, thinking maybe, just maybe, Crestwood's done chewing him up. They walk out into the Georgia afternoon, the air warm and thick, students milling around the parking lot, some nodding at him, others turning away. But he feels taller, lighter, like he's reclaimed something they tried to steal. Vanessa's SUV roars to life, and he's almost humming, picturing Grant's face when he hears this. Suspended and outmaneuvered, a small victory that tastes sweet after days of bitter. But across town, in a cramped precinct break room that smells of burnt coffee and sweat, Officer Grant sits slouched in a plastic chair, his uniform swapped for a stained polo, his suspension badge dangling from his pocket like a taunt. His phone buzzes. A text from his supremacist buddy, kids back in school. Footage screwed us, and Grant's jaw tightens, his meaty fist slamming the table, rattling a stack of styrofoam cups. He's not done, not by a long shot, and he grabs. His burner phone dialing a contact labeled Snake. His voice a low growl, we're hitting higher, get me dirt on the mum. Something big, she's not untouchable. Snake, a hacker with a rap sheet longer than Grant's arm, chuckles on the other. And already on it, boss, give me an hour. Back at home, Malik sprawled on his bed, the shattered window boarded up, scrolling through texts. Terrell's yo, you're a badass, making him smile when Vanessa's phone rings downstairs, her deputy's voice crackling through. Chief, we've got a problem, massive breach. Your email's been hacked, it's all over the dark web. Malik hears her curse, sharp and rare, and he bolts upright, jogging to the kitchen where she's pacing. Her face pale, her blazer shed on a chair. What's wrong? He asks, and she turns, her eyes hard. They've leaked my FBI emails, doctored. One saying I abused power to free you, it's a frame job and it's bad. His stomach drops, the room tilting because this isn't just about him anymore, it's her career. The shield she's held up for him, and now it's cracking. The TV flickers on, a news anchor's voice cutting in. Breaking scandal, FBI. Chief Vanessa Jackson suspended amid allegations of misconduct. Evidence suggests she pressured local police to release her son, Malik Jackson, from custody, and Malik's knees buckle, sinking onto a stool as Vanessa slams her phone down, her deputy still talking. Internal review starting, you're off duty till it's cleared. She's suspended, her badge useless for now, and Malik's victory sours. His reinstatement a hollow prize when his mom's the one bleeding for it. He stares at the screen, the anchor droning on, public outrage growing, and he knows Grant's behind this, his reach slithering higher, striking deeper. Hours later, Malik's pumping gas at a Shell station, the Georgia dusk settling in, crickets chirping over the hum of pumps, when a shadow falls across him, heavy and familiar. He turns, and there's Grant, out of uniform, his grey stubble, glinting under the neon lights, his sneer wide and cruel. Well, well, he says, voice thick with venom. Looks like your mom's not so tough now, huh, kid? Suspended just like me, but I've got friends, and you've got nothing. Malik's blood runs cold, his hand tightening on the nozzle, and Grant steps closer, his breath sour with beer. You think you're safe, but I'm untouchable, always will be. Before Malik can swing, Grant's fist lashes out, catching him square, in the gut, doubling him over with a gasp, the gas hose clattering to the pavement. Grant laughs, low and guttural, walking off into the night, his boots crunching gravel, and Malik sinks to his knees, pain radiating through him, not just from the punch but from the truth. Grant's not done, he's bolder now, and this hit on Vanessa's just the start. Malik drags himself up, the station's fluorescent glow harsh against his skin, and stumbles to the SUV, his phone shaking in his hand as he dials Vanessa. Mom, he got me. He's coming for us. And her voice crackles back, "Stay there. I'm on my way." But he hears the strain, the fear she's hiding. And he knows this war's shifting, the system turning its teeth on them both. Grant's revenge a blade they can't outrun yet. Malik Jackson leans against the kitchen counter in his Crestwood home, the Georgia night pressing thick and humid against the boarded-up windows, his gut still tender from Officer Grant's sucker punch hours ago at the gas station. His bruised cheek pulses under a fresh ice pack, the cold seeping into his skin. But it's nothing compared to the ache in his chest, the weight of his mum's suspension from the FBI sinking deeper with every tick of the clock. Vanessa Jackson paces the tile floor, her navy blazer slung over a chair, her sharp eyes bloodshot from a sleepless fight, her phone pressed to her ear as she snaps at her deputy, "I don't care what the review board says, I've got allies in. DC, get me Director Hayes now, we're not letting this stick." Malik watches her, his hands trembling slightly, the memory of Grant's sneer. "I'm untouchable," looping in his skull, a taunt that feels truer every second she's off duty, her badge powerless against the hacked emails framing her as corrupt. His dad Marcus shuffles in from the living room, his work shirt rumpled, his graying hair mussed from running his hands through it. "What's the plan, V?" he asks, voice rough. "Because this house isn't safe anymore, not after that mob." Vanessa lowers her phone, her jaw tight. "I'm getting my suspension lifted, tracing those leaks to Grant and shutting his crew down. They don't get to win this." Malik nods, wanting to believe her, but his gut twists. The gas station punch a warning he can't shake. Grant's not just talking now, he's striking, and they're exposed. He heads upstairs, needing air, his sneakers crunching over glass. Dust the broom mist, the shattered window in his room a jagged reminder of the mob's hate. He flops onto his bed, the mattress creaking, and stares at the ceiling, replaying the boutique, the locker, the suspension, all of it piling up like bricks on his chest, wondering how much more they can take. Sleep pulls at him, exhaustion blurring, the edges. But then a sharp crack splits the night, a boom that rattles the walls, and his eyes snap open, heart slamming as orange light flickers through the boarded window. He bolts upright, stumbling to the gap, and sees it, flames licking up the garage, a fireball roaring where their SUV sits, the air thick with the stench of gasoline and melting rubber. Smoke pours in, stinging his eyes, and he yells, "Mom! Dad! Fire!" His voice cracking as he scrambles down the stairs, socks slipping on the hardwood. Vanessa's already moving, phone dropped, gun in hand, her face a mask of fury as she shouts, "Marcus, get out! Now!" And Malik crashes into the living room, finding his dad frozen by the couch, staring at the blaze through the cracked window. The heat's already seeping in, a wall of it pressing against the house, and Malik grabs Marcus's arm, tugging him toward the back door. "Come on, Dad, move!" His voice raw, panic clawing up his throat. Marcus coughs, smoke curling into his lungs, and staggers after him, his breaths wheezing as they burst into the backyard. The night alive with the fire's roar, sirens wailing somewhere far off. Vanessa's behind them, dialing 911, her voice sharp, "Firebomb at my residence, Crestwood. Send units now." But the operator's slow, garbled, and she curses, tossing the phone to dial her deputy instead. Malik's eyes water, the garage a skeleton of twisted metal now, flames swallowing the SUV, their bikes, his dad's tools, everything. And he knows this isn't an accident. It's Grant. It's his crew, hitting harder than the mob, aiming to burn them out. Marcus doubles over, hacking into the grass, his face ashen, and Malik kneels beside him, hand on his back. "You okay, Dad? Stay with me," his voice trembling as the fire's heat singes his skin, even from here. Vanessa's shouting into her phone, "Trace this, it's arson. I want Grant's prints on it," and Malik looks up, seeing neighbors peek from their houses, some with phones out recording, none helping, their silhouettes cold against the blaze. Fire trucks finally roll in, hoses blasting, foam hissing as it smothers the flames, and Malik helps Marcus to his feet, his dad's weight heavy against him, coughing up black phlegm that stains the lawn. The firefighters save the house barely, the garage a charred husk, but the danger's not gone, it's in the air. In the way Vanessa's eyes narrow as she scans the crowd, knowing this is war now. She storms to the precinct at dawn, her blazer back on, her suspension be damned, and confronts Grant in the lobby. His bulk slouched against a vending machine, a smirk playing on his lips. "You did this," she says, voice low and lethal. "Firebombing my home, endangering my family. I've got evidence tying it to your crew." And he laughs, a guttural sound that chills her blood. "Prove it, Chief. I was at the bar all night. Got 10 guys. To swear it." She slams a file on the counter. Photos of a gas can found in the wreckage, prints lifted. But when she checks the evidence lockup later, it's gone. The chain of custody broken. A clerk shrugging. Must have been misplaced. And her stomach drops, realizing Grant's reach is deeper. His allies dirtier than she feared. Back home, Malik sits on the porch, the air still acrid. His dad inside with an oxygen mask. His mom pacing the lawn, her voice a hiss. They're covering for him. "But I'll find a way." And Malik nods, his fists clenched. Because this isn't just a fire, it's a message. Grant's not stopping, he's escalating. And the next hit could be worse, could be final. What do you think? Should a creep like Grant burn for torching their lives? Comment number 1 if you're screaming yes. Smash like if you're with Malik's fight. And subscribe because this revenge is red hot. Is Vanessa's grit enough to nail him? Drop number 1 if you believe she'll rise. Hit like if you're betting on her and stick around for the heat. Can Malik bounce back from this inferno, or is Grant's crew too entrenched? Keep watching to see the sparks fly. Will. A missing gas can bury their hopes or ignite a bigger showdown. The fire's just starting, don't blink. Malik Jackson sits on the edge of his bed in the Crestwood house, the acrid tang of smoke still clinging to the air, days after the garage firebombing, his hands restless as he twists a frayed shoelace around his fingers. The boarded-up windows cast slanted shadows across the room, the silence heavy with his dad's ragged coughs drifting from downstairs, the oxygen mask a new fixture since the blaze nearly choked him out. His bruised cheek has faded to a dull yellow, but his gut still throbs from Grant's gas station punch, a constant reminder of the hate closing in. Vanessa Jackson moves through the kitchen below, her voice a low hum as she talks to her deputy on the phone, piecing together the arson case despite her suspension, her heels clicking with a defiance that keeps Malik grounded. He's done hiding, done waiting for Grant's next blow to land, because the fire wasn't just an attack, it was a dare, and he's ready to fight back. His phone sits on the nightstand, buzzing with texts from Terrell. "Stay safe, bro, they're crazy." But Malik's mind's elsewhere, replaying Grant's smirk at the precinct. "I'm untouchable," a taunt he can't unhear. He grabs his laptop, an old Dell with a cracked corner, and pulls up a map of Crestwood, zeroing in on Rusty's Tavern, a dive bar on the edge of town where Grant's been spotted since his suspension, a haunt for cops and roughnecks who don't ask questions. Malik's no hacker, but he's smart, resourceful, and he's got a plan. A cheap mic from his tutoring gigs, small enough to hide in his pocket, and a hunch that Grant's too cocky to keep his mouth shut. He slips downstairs, past Vanessa, arguing about evidence logs, and out the back door, the Georgia dusk thick with humidity, crickets chirping as he hops on his bike, the only ride left after the SUV burned. The ride's 10 miles, his legs pumping hard against the pedals, sweat beading on his brow as he weaves through quiet streets, the tavern's neon sign flickering in the distance, a red glow against the darkening sky. He stashes the bike behind a dumpster, the stench of rotting trash sharp in his nose, and adjusts his hoodie, the mic taped inside his sleeve, a faint hum as he tests it, recording straight to his phone. Inside, Rusty's is a haze of cigarette smoke and stale beer, the jukebox whining some old country tune, men in flannel hunched over tables, their laughter rough and loud. Grant's there, slouched in a corner booth, his grey stubble glinting under a dim bulb, a half-empty pitcher of beer sweating beside him, his crew around him, 3 guys with hard eyes and harder fists. Malik slides into a stool at the bar, head low ordering a Coke he doesn't drink, his heart thudding as he angles his sleeve, catching Grant's voice over the din. The mic picks it up, clear and damning, Grant bragging. "Firebomb was just the start, should have seen their faces. That kid and his mom think they're hot shit, but I've got more coming. They'll wish they'd never crossed me." Malik's blood runs cold, his fingers gripping the glass so tight it creaks, because this isn't just talk. It's a confession, and he's got it. Every word. He slips out unnoticed and races home, the night air whipping past as he uploads the audio to his cloud. then blasts it online, tagging news outlets. Yagas Grant confession trending by midnight, the raw fury of his voice cutting through Crestwood's lies. Protests erupt the next day, dozens outside the precinct, signs waving "Justice for Malik," "Lock Grant up," and Vanessa's phone lights up, her deputy saying, "We've got him, arrest warrants out, and Malik's there when the feds cuff." Grant downtown, his sneer gone, replaced by a snarl as he's shoved into a squad car. Malik's chest swells, a grin breaking through because this feels like a real win. Grant's words his own noose, and the news hails it. Ex-cop arrested after leaked audio exposes arson plot. He's at the protest later, fists raised with the crowd, their chants a roar that drowns out the mob's hate, and he thinks, maybe this is it, maybe they've turned the tide. But the victory's a mirage, fragile as glass, and it shatters that night. He's walking back. From the rally, the street's quiet, the protest's energy still buzzing in his veins, when a van screeches up, black and unmarked, tires smoking as it cuts him off. Before he can run, two men in ski masks leap out, their boots pounding the asphalt, and Malik's legs pump, but they're faster, one slamming him into the pavement, the other wrenching his arms back, zip ties biting into his wrists. His face scrapes concrete, blood flooding his mouth, and he kicks, screams, "Let me go." But a fist cracks his jaw, silencing him as they drag him into the van, the door slamming shut with a thud that echoes in his skull. The engine growls, tires, squealing as they peel out, and Malik's thrown against the metal floor, his head spinning, pain radiating through his swollen face. A voice, rough and familiar, one of Grant's crew, snarls, "Your little stunt pissed us off, kid, and now you pay." They rip his phone away, smashing it under a boot, and set up a camera. Red light blinking as they livestream, the feed going straight to Vanessa's hacked FBI account, taunting her, "Come save your boy, Chief. Let's see how tough you are now." Malik's tied to a chair in a dank warehouse, the air cold and sour with mold, his face a mess of blood and bruises, one eye swelling shut as he pleads, "You don't have to do this." His voice hoarse, cracking, but they laugh, one slamming a fist into his ribs, the crack sharp in the empty space. The livestream rolls, his battered form broadcast to the world, and he fights to stay conscious, his mum's face flashing in his mind, her badge, her strength. But he's alone here, the camera's unblinking eye his only witness. And Grant's. Crew's rage is a storm he can't outrun, their fists falling like rain, each blow a promise that this is far from over. Malik Jackson slumps in a rusted chair inside a cavernous warehouse on the outskirts of Crestwood, the air dank with mold and the metallic tang of his own blood, his wrists raw where zip ties cut into his skin, his face a swollen mess of bruises, blooming under one eye that's puffed shut. The cold concrete floor bites through his jeans, his ribs aching from the last punch Grant's crew landed, a dull crack still echoing in his chest as he gasps shallow breaths. The livestream cameras, red light glaring at him like a predator's eye. His hoodie's torn, soaked with sweat and crimson streaks, and his voice is a hoarse rasp as he pleads, "Please stop, you've made your point." But the two masked men circling him just laugh, their boots scuffing the grit-strewn ground. One, spitting near his feet, "Shut up, kid, your mom's gonna love this show." The warehouse looms dark and empty, its rafters lost in shadow, the faint drip of water plinking somewhere in the distance, and Malik's head lolls, fighting to stay conscious, his mind clinging to Vanessa's face, her badge, her promise to protect him. But she's not here, and the camera's rolling, beaming his pain to her hacked FBI account, a taunt he can't escape. Outside, Vanessa Jackson barrels down a Georgia back road in an unmarked sedan, her suspension sidelined, her sharp eyes locked on a laptop screen beside her, the live stream flickering with Malik's battered form, her knuckles white on the wheel, as she snarls into her earpiece, "I've got the signal, warehouse off Route 12, mobilize now, I'm not waiting." Her deputy's voice crackles back, "Chief, you're off duty, let us," but she cuts him off, "My son's dying, move," and floors it. The engine roaring as she weaves through pines, her blazer shed, gun holstered tight against her ribs. She's tracked the feed's IP, her team scrambling behind her. A dozen agents piling into SUVs, sirens silent, but lights flashing, converging on the spot she's already racing toward, because every second Malik's in there is a second too long. The warehouse door explodes inward, splintering wood and rusted hinges as Vanessa storms in. Her pistol raised, her voice a thunderclap. FBI, drop your weapons, now. And the masked men freeze, their fists mid-swing, Malik's groan cutting through. The chaos. Agents flood in behind her, black vests glinting, shouting orders, hands up, down on the ground, and the kidnappers stumble back, one lunging for the camera, but a gunshot cracks. Vanessa's bullet shattering the tripod, the feed, cutting to black as the red light dies. Malik's head lifts, his good eye widening. "Mom," he croaks, and she's there, cutting his ties with a knife from her boot, her hands steady despite the tremor in her breath. "I've got you, baby. You're safe." The agents cuff the men. There, masks yanked off, revealing scarred faces she clocks as Grant's crew, Snake and another thug named Riggs, their sneers fading under the weight of steel bracelets. Malik collapses into her arms, tears streaking through the blood on his face, his body shaking as she holds him tight, her whisper fierce. "They're done, I promise." And he nods, clinging to her, believing it for a moment, the warehouse's chill fading against her warmth. Paramedics swarm in, red lights pulsing through broken windows, and Malik stretchered out, his ribs taped. An IV dripping into his arm as he's wheeled to an ambulance, Vanessa barking orders. "Get him to Memorial. I want guards on him 24/7. The news hits fast. Choppers buzzing overhead. Crestwood teen rescued in FBI raid, suspects in custody, and Malik's hospital room fills with beeps and antiseptic stink. His dad Marcus rushing in, oxygen mask dangling. Hugging him so hard it hurts, "Thank God, son, thank God." Vanessa's hailed a hero, her face on every screen. FBI chief risks all to save son, the public roaring approval, protests swelling again. Grant's crew must pay. Malik drifts on pain. Meds. His swollen face easing, thinking this is it, the end of the nightmare. Grant locked up, his goons caught, his mom unstoppable. But the mirage cracks at dawn 3 days later, when Vanessa storms into his hospital room. Her blazer rumpled, her eyes blazing. "They're out," she says, voice tight, and Malik's heart stutters. "What? Who?" His throat dry as she paces. "Snake and Riggs. Released this morning. Some judge threw it out." He sits up, wincing, the IV tugging his arm how he croaks, and she slams a fist on the bed rail. "Judge Hargrove, Grant's uncle, ruled lack of evidence, said the raid was illegal because I'm suspended. It's all gone. Warrants, audio, tossed." Malik's stomach plummets, his mind reeling because Hargrove's the principal's brother. A Crestwood dynasty. And this isn't justice. It's a rigged game, deeper than Grant, a system shielding its own. Vanessa's phone buzzes, her deputy confirming it. "They're free, Chief, and they're pissed. Watch your back." Malik's eyes dart to the window, the Georgia sunrise mocking him, and that night his hospital phone rings, a blocked number. Snake's voice slithering through. "You thought you'd win, kid. We're coming to finish you," and the line cuts dead. He stares at the receiver, his pulse hammering, death threats now a cold promise, and Vanessa's face hardens as he tells her, her hand gripping his, "We're not done fighting." But he feels the weight, the rescue a hollow shell. Grant's crew, loose, hungrier, and the next blow looming like a storm he can't outrun. Should a crooked judge like Hargrove face the fire for this? Comment number 1 if you're raging yes. Smash like if you're with Malik's stand, and subscribe because this battle's boiling over. Is Vanessa's raid a win worth celebrating? Drop number 1 if you think she's a legend. Hit like if you're cheering her on, and stick with us for the fallout. Can Malik survive these freed thugs? Or is Crestwood too twisted to break? Keep watching to see the chaos unfold. Will a death threat shatter their fight or spark a fiercer comeback? The heat's rising, don't turn away now. Malik Jackson lies propped up in a sterile hospital bed at Crestwood Memorial, the beep of monitors, a steady pulse in the dim room, his ribs wrapped tight in bandages that itch against his bruised skin, his swollen face easing under a haze of pain meds. The Georgia dawn filters through blinds, casting thin stripes across the white sheets, but the light feels cold, hollow. After Snake's death threat crackled through the phone last night, "We're coming to finish you," a promise that coils in his gut like a snake ready to strike. His wrists bear faint red lines from the zip ties, his good eye darting to the door where an FBI agent stands guard, a hulking shadow in a black vest, but even that feels flimsy against Grant's crew, now free thanks to Judge Hargrove's crooked Ruling. Vanessa Jackson sits beside him, her blazer creased from nights on a cot, her sharp eyes bloodshot as she scrolls her phone, tracking leads despite her suspension, her voice low. I'm getting us out of this, baby. They won't touch. You again. His dad Marcus slumps in a chair by the window, oxygen mask dangling. His cough softer now, but his face gaunt, the firebomb's toll still carved into his frame. Malik nods at Vanessa, wanting to believe her, but the hospital's antiseptic, stink, clings to him, a reminder of how close he came in that warehouse, how fast freedom turned to a cage. He's out by noon, discharged with a bottle of pills and a limp, the agent shadowing them home, the Crestwood streets quiet but heavy with eyes, neighbors peering from porches, some with pity, others with glares that say he's still the thief Evelyn Harper painted him as. Back in his room, the boarded window rattles in the breeze, and he sinks onto his bed, the mattress sagging under his weight, his mind churning. He's done being a target, done letting Grant's crew dictate his life, and he pulls his laptop close, fingers trembling as he digs through old files, landing on a drone project from last year's science fair, a clunky quadcopter he'd rigged with a camera, good for 50 feet of flight. It's in the basement, dusty but intact, and he spends hours tweaking it, soldering wires by lamplight, the hum of the rotors a small rebellion against the fear gnawing at him. Vanessa's downstairs arguing with her deputy. I need eyes on. Grant's crew, they're planning something. And Malik knows she's right. Snake's threat wasn't empty, it's a fuse burning short. He tests the drone at midnight, the backyard dark and still. Its buzz cutting through the crickets as it lifts off, the camera feeding grainy footage to his phone, trees and rooftops blurring past. He flies it toward Rusty's Tavern, 10 miles. Out, his hands steady on the controls, the neon sign glowing red as he hovers above, spotting Snake and Riggs in the lot, their voices faint but clear through the mic. We're hitting Crestwood High, mass shooting. Teach that kid and this town. A lesson tomorrow at lunch. Malik's blood freezes, his breath catching as the drone dips, nearly crashing. But he pulls it back, landing it shaky in the grass. The audio saved, undeniable, a plan to slaughter kids because of him. He bolts downstairs. Mum, listen to this. His voice urgent, shoving the phone at Vanessa, her eyes narrowing as she plays it. Snake's growl filling the kitchen. Mass shooting. Tomorrow. She's on her feet. Suspension be damned, dialing her team. We've got a credible threat. Crestwood High, mobilize SWAT, I'm leading this. And within hours she's gone. Agents storming the tavern, cuffing Snake and Riggs as they load guns. Into a van. The school locked down before the bell rings. Malik watches it unfold on TV, breaking news. FBI thwarts school shooting plot. His drone footage credited anonymously. The anchor praising the tip that saved dozens, maybe hundreds. And he feels it, a rush of pride. He's a hero, not a victim, his smarts turning the tide. Vanessa calls, her voice crackling. We got 'em, baby, they're locked up tight this time, and he grins, limping to the porch, the Georgia air warm against his skin, thinking this might stick. Grant's crew gutted, his school safe. But the breaking point's waiting, a shadow he can't see. Across town, Judge Hargrove sits in his oak-paneled chambers, his gavel idle, his phone buzzing with a text from Riggs, sent before the bust. We're out, need a bigger move. And he smirks. Dialing a number, his voice smooth. Bomb the FBI office, make it hurt, they'll never trace it. At dawn, Malik's asleep, dreaming of his dad's birthday, the wallet he never got. When a blast shakes Crestwood, a fireball erupting 5 miles away, the FBI field office's windows shattering, concrete crumbling as screams pierce the quiet. He jolts awake, the house trembling, his phone lighting up with alerts. Explosion rocks FBI office, multiple agents injured, and his heart stops, because Vanessa was there, meeting her team to wrap the shooting case. He scrambles downstairs, Marcus coughing hard. What the hell, son? And Malik's dialing her, no answer, just voicemail. Mum, pick up, please. His voice breaking as the TV blares, live footage of smoke and rubble, agents staggering out, bloodied, but no sign of her. He grabs his keys, ignoring the pain in his ribs, and drives, the agent trailing him, tires screeching as he nears the chaos, sirens wailing, cops cordoning off the street. He leaps out, shoving past a barrier. Mum, where are you? His shout lost in the din, and an agent grabs him. She's inside, trapped, we're digging, stay back. Malik's knees buckle, his hands clawing at the air, because this isn't just Grant, it's bigger. A bomb to crush her, to crush them, and he hears her voice in his head. We're not done fighting, but she's buried under debris, and he's breaking. The hero moment gone, swallowed by a blast that proves they're never safe, not here, not ever. Malik Jackson stands trembling outside the smoldering ruins of the FBI field office in Crestwood, the Georgia morning thick with smoke and the acrid bite of charred metal, his sneakers crunching glass as sirens wail and agents shout orders through the chaos. His ribs ache under the bandages, his swollen face throbbing, but it's nothing compared to the vise squeezing his chest, Vanessa trapped inside the rubble, the bomb's echo still ringing in his ears from when it woke him an hour ago. Firefighters claw at debris, hoses blasting water that hisses into steam, while Malik shoves against the cordon, his voice raw. "Let me through. That's my mom." But an agent holds him back, his grip iron. "We're getting her, kid. Stay here." His phone's dead in his pocket, battery drained from calling her. No answer, just silence. And he sees her in his mind, fierce and unyielding, promising they'd fight, now buried under concrete because he stopped a shooting, because Grant's crew won't quit. His dad, Marcus, staggers up beside him, oxygen mask dangling, his cough sharp and wet. "What happened, son?" His voice shaking. And Malik chokes out, "They bombed her office. Dad, she's in there." His eyes burning as much from fear as the smoke. Minutes stretch into agony, his fists clenched, nails cutting crescents into his palms until a shout cuts through. "We've got her," and rescuers haul Vanessa out, her blazer torn, her face streaked with blood and dust, but alive, coughing hard as they lay her on a stretcher. Malik breaks free, rushing to her. "Mom, you okay?" His voice cracking, and she grips his hand, her sharp eyes clouded but fierce. "I'm fine, baby, just banged up. We're at war now." Paramedics swarm, checking her vitals, a gash on her forehead, dripping red, but she waves them off, sitting up, her voice steel. "Get me a line to DC, this ends today." Malik's knees buckle with relief, Marcus hugging her despite his wheezing. And she's on her phone in minutes, suspension ignored, barking orders. "I want every agent on Grant's crew. They've crossed the line. Bombs mean terrorism. No mercy." Malik watches, his heart pounding, because she's alive, she's fighting, and he's not letting her do it alone. Back home by noon, the house a fortress of boarded windows and tension, Vanessa's bandaged but unbowed, plotting with her deputy. Over a cracked kitchen table, we've got the drone audio. We'll tie it to the bomb, I need more. Malik's in his room, laptop glowing. His hands steady despite the ache in his ribs, because he's got a weapon left. His brain, his tech, and he's hacking. Not their emails this time, but their phones. Grant's crew, Snake, Riggs, the whole network. He cracks into Snake's burner, a backdoor he learned from a coding forum last year, and finds texts, calls, a web of plans stretching beyond Crestwood, a supremacist ring plotting chaos, bomb specs, meetups, names, Judge Hargroves included. His uncle's dirty hands all over it. Malik's breath hitches, his fingers flying as he compiles it. Audio from the drone, hacked logs, a dossier of evil, and he runs downstairs. "Mom, look at this. It's everything." His voice urgent, shoving. The laptop at her. Vanessa's eyes widen, scanning the screen. "Holy hell, baby, this is gold," and she's dialing, her deputy patching it to DC, feds mobilizing fast. SWAT teams rolling out across Georgia. By dusk, it's a blitz. Dozens arrested. Snake and Riggs dragged from a hideout. Hargrove cuffed in his chambers, his gavel useless, news screaming. Massive white supremacist bust. FBI chief's son, key to takedown. Malik's on the porch, the air cooling, his chest swelling because this is big, bigger than the school, bigger than Grant. A network gutted, and he did it. His hacked the hammer that cracked it open. Vanessa claps his shoulder. "We've cornered. Them Grant's next," and he grins, thinking it's over. The war won, Crestwood safe at last. But Grant's not done, not yet, and the final blow lands like a blade in the dark. He's in custody, locked in a precinct cell after the raid, his grey stubble matted with sweat, his sneer fixed as he waits, because he's got one last card, a guard in his pocket, a cousin who slips him a key during a shift change. The lock clicks, the door swings open, and Grant's out, vanishing into the night, his boots silent on asphalt as he heads for revenge. His crews fall, fueling a rage that's personal now. Malik's oblivious, asleep when it happens, dreaming. To have peace, but Marcus isn't. He's at work late, a warehouse gig on Crestwood's edge, stacking crates under flickering lights, his coughs echoing in the empty space. Grant stalks in, a ghost in the shadows, his service pistol gleaming, and Marcus freezes who's there, his voice rough, but Grant doesn't answer, just fires. 2 shots ripping through Marcus's chest, blood blooming dark on his shirt as he crumples, his oxygen mask clattering to the floor. Grant kneels, leaving a note pinned to Marcus's body, scrawled in black ink, "Your son's next," and walks out, the warehouse silent but for the drip of blood pooling under crates. Dawn breaks, and Malik wakes to Vanessa's scream downstairs, a sound that rips through him, primal and broken, and he stumbles down, finding her on the phone, tears streaming. No, Marcus, oh God, he's gone. She drops it, collapsing into a chair, and Malik's there. "What happened, Mom, what?" His voice shaking, and she chokes out, "Grant shot your dad, he's dead. They found him at work, this note," and she holds it up. "Your son's next." The words. A punch that knocks the air from his lungs. He sinks to the floor, the kitchen spinning. His dad's laugh, his coughs, his hugs flashing in his mind. Gone, stolen, because he fought back, because he hacked, because he's black in Crestwood. And they won't stop. Vanessa's sobbing, her fists pounding the table. "I'll kill him, I'll find him." But Malik's numb, staring at the note. The war not won, not even close. Grant's escape a wound deeper than the bomb, his dad's blood the price, and the threat on him a shadow that's only growing darker. Malik Jackson sits crumpled on the kitchen floor of his Crestwood home, the Georgia morning grey and heavy through the boarded windows, his knees pulled tight to his chest, his hands shaking as he clutches the note Grant left on his dad's body. "Your son's next." The ink smeared where Vanessa's tears hit it. Marcus's blood stains his memory. The warehouse call at dawn shredding his world, his dad's cough silenced forever by 2 bullets, a loss that hollows him out, leaving rage and fear warring in his gut. His bruised ribs ache, his swollen face throbs, but it's nothing compared to the void where his dad's voice should be, gruff and warm, asking about his day. Vanessa kneels beside him, her blazer stained with dust from the FBI office rubble, her sharp eyes red-rimmed, her sobs quiet now, but her fists clenched. "I'll find him, baby. Grant's dead for this." Her voice a vow that cuts through the silence. The kitchen smells of burnt coffee, the pot forgotten since the news hit, and Malik's throat burns, his words choking out. "He took Dad because of me, Mom, because I fought back." And she grabs his shoulders, fierce. "No, this is on them, not you. We end it now." He nods, numb, the note a spur digging into him, because Grant's out there, escaped, a ghost with a gun, and Malik's next, a target he can't outrun anymore. Vanessa's phone buzzes, her deputy reporting, "We've got a net out, every road." He won't get far, but Malik knows better. Grant's slippery, his crew's down, but he's not, and waiting's not enough. He drags himself up, legs shaky, and heads to his room, the laptop glowing on his desk. His drone wrecked, but his mind sharp. A plan forming through the grief, a trap to lure Grant out, to end this himself. He hacks a burner number he'd traced. From Snake's phone, spoofing a text, "Meet at the old mill off Route 9, got intel on the kid, 8 tonight," and sends it, knowing Grant's ego, his hate, will bite. Vanessa's downstairs, coordinating with agents, her suspension lifted after the bust, her voice steel. "I want him alive," he answers for Marcus, and Malik slips out, the agent at the door distracted, biking 10 miles to the mill, an abandoned sprawl of rust and weeds, its silos looming like sentinels in the dusk. The air's thick with damp earth and rot, the river nearby gurgling low, and Malik sets up, a mic hidden in his pocket, recording to his cloud, a camera rigged in the rafters. From his science fair scraps, streaming to Vanessa's secure line, his hands steady despite the tremble in his chest. He waits, crouched behind a busted crate, the mill's shadows swallowing him, his breath shallow, the note's threat a pulse in his skull, "Your son's next," until headlights cut the dark. A pickup rumbling in, Grant stepping out, his grey, stubble glinting, his pistol drawn, his sneer wide as he calls, "Where's my tip, coward? Show yourself." Malik stands, slow, hands up. "It's me, you want me, here I am," his voice cracking but firm. And Grant laughs, a guttural rasp. "Perfect, kid. You made this easy." your dad screamed before I plugged him. You'll beg too. Malik's stomach lurches. Rage flaring, but he keeps still, the mic catching it all. You killed him, why? His words abate and Grant steps closer, gun steady. Because you and your bitch mom thought you could take me down. I burned your garage. I'll burn you, that bomb. Was my idea? Hargrove just signed off. The confession spills, raw and ugly. Marcus's murder, the firebomb, the FBI blast, every crime laid bare. And Malik's eyes sting, tears mixing with the blood on his lips. You're done, Grant, it's over. But Grant snarls, not till you're dead, raising the gun. Tires screech outside. Vanessa's SUV skidding in, agents pouring out, guns drawn. Drop it, Grant, now. Her voice a roar as she charges, her blazer flapping, her pistol locked on him. Grant spins, firing wild, a bullet clipping her arm, blood, blooming. But she tackles him, wrenching the gun free. Agents cuffing him as he thrashes, his curses echoing in the mill's hollow shell. Malik stumbles to her. Mom, you're hit. His voice breaking and she grimaces. Just a graze, baby, we got him. Hugging him tight, her blood smearing his hoodie, the camera still rolling. Grant's confession live, justice in real time. He sobs, relief and grief crashing together. Marcus's face flashing, the note's threat snuffed out. And Vanessa pulls him close. We did it. He's gone, her voice shaking but strong. They limp out, agents hauling Grant to a van. His sneer, broken, his grey eyes wild, and Malik feels it. A weight lifting, the war's end, his dad avenged, the audio blasting online. Ex-cop confesses to murder, arson in dramatic sting. They're halfway to the car. Vanessa's arm bandaged, Malik leaning on her when a boom splits the night. A fireball erupting from the mill's heart, the ground shaking as debris rains down, bricks and steel twisting in the blaze. Malik's, thrown back, his ears ringing, dust choking his lungs as he scrambles up. Mom, where are you? His shout lost in the roar, and he sees her, pinned under a beam, her leg trapped, her face pale but alive. Agents yelling, bomb, get clear. Grant's crew, a last gasp from the shadows, radios crackling from the van. We've got him, he's laughing, a voice cackling. You're trapped now, Jacksons. Enjoy the tomb. And Malik crawls to her, tugging at the beam, his hands bloody. Mom, hold on, I've got you. His voice raw, but it won't budge, the fire spreading, heat singeing his skin. Agents rush in, pulling at rubble, but the mill's collapsing, walls groaning, and Malik's pinned beside her, coughing on ash. His dad's death a fresh wound, this trap a new one. Grant's laugh a ghost in the chaos, because even cuffed, his hate's won this round. The mill their cage, the war not over, just shifted, and they're running out of air. Malik Jackson chokes on ash and dust inside the crumbling mill off Route 9. The Georgia night lit by the fire's orange glow, his hands clawing at the steel beam pinning Vanessa's leg, his fingers slick with blood and grime as the heat singes. His skin, his ribs scream under the bandages, his swollen face throbbing. But he pulls harder. Mom, hold on, I'm getting you out. His voice raw, cracking over the roar of flames licking up the mill's rusted walls. Vanessa grimaces, her blazer shredded, her sharp eyes clouded with pain but fierce. Keep going, baby, don't stop. Her breath ragged as she grips his arm, her blood seeping into the concrete below. The air's thick, suffocating, smoke curling into his lungs, and the mill groans, its rafters splintering, chunks of ceiling crashing down as Grant's crew's bomb tears through what's left. Agents scramble outside, their shouts muffled. Get a crane, move it now, but Malik's world narrows to the beam, to Vanessa's gasps, to the radio cackle from Grant's van. You're trapped now, Jacksons. Enjoy the tomb. A laugh that fuels his rage. His muscles burn, his nails splitting as he heaves, and then a crack. The beam shifts just enough, and Vanessa slides free, her leg twisted but intact, her groan sharp as she drags herself up. He grabs her, pulling her toward the exit, debris raining around them, a brick clipping his shoulder, drawing blood. But he stumbles on, the fire's heat a wall at his back. Agents rush in, hauling them out as the mill collapses, a thunderous crash that buries Grant's trap under rubble, the night sky swallowing the blaze as they hit the grass, coughing, alive. Paramedics swarm, oxygen masks pressed to their faces. Vanessa's leg splinted, her arm bandaged from the mill's graze, and Malik clings to her, his chest heaving. We made it, Mom. We're okay, his voice trembling. tears cutting through the soot on his cheeks. She nods, her grip iron despite the pain. Grant's done, baby, he's finished. And he believes her. The mill's ruin a testament to their survival. The audio of Grant's confession still streaming, a noose tightening around his neck. Days later, the hospital's antiseptic hum surrounds Malik again. His ribs retaped, his cuts stitched, but he's out fast, limping home beside Vanessa, her crutches clicking on the hardwood, her suspension lifted, her badge back, the FBI hailing her as unbreakable. Grant's trial hits like a storm. The mill footage, the hacked phone logs, the drone audio, all piled against him, his grey stubble matted in a courtroom cell as he snarls, "I'd do it again," his confession to Marcus's murder, the firebomb, the FBI blast sealing his fate. The jury's out an hour, guilty on all counts, life without parole. And Malik sits in the gallery, Vanessa's hand on his dad's absence a weight he carries, justice served but hollow, the news blaring, ex-cop convicted in reign of terror. Crestwood shamed. The town's quiet now, the mob's hate muted, neighbors avoiding his eyes, but he feels no victory, just exhaustion, the war's toll etched into his bones. Marcus's funeral comes a week later, a small plot in Crestwood Cemetery. The Georgia sun blazing down as Malik stands in a borrowed suit, his ribs still tender, his face healing but scarred, the casket gleaming under a mound of flowers he can't smell over the grief clogging his throat. Vanessa leans on her crutches, her sharp eyes wet, her navy blazer crisp despite the limp, and they bury him. The preacher's words are drone, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, but Malik's stuck on Marcus's laugh, his coughs, the oxygen mask he'd worn since the fire, now silent forever. He drops a handful of dirt, his hand shaking. "I'm sorry, Dad, I should have stopped this," his whisper lost in the wind, and Vanessa pulls him close, her voice firm. "He was proud of you, baby. We fought. For him, don't you forget it." The crowd's small Terrell there, a few agents. No Crestwood faces. The town's shame keeping them away, and Malik stares at the headstone. Marcus Jackson, beloved father. The date too soon, too wrong. Grant's note burning in his memory. "Your son's next," a threat snuffed out but paid in blood. He lingers after, the sun dipping low, Vanessa at the car, giving him space, and he kneels, tracing the stone. "I'll keep going, Dad, I promise," his voice breaking, "because this isn't the end. It can't be. Not with Marcus gone, not with Crestwood's rot still festering." A shadow falls across him, soft footsteps crunching grass, and he looks up, expecting Vanessa. But it's Evelyn Harper, her blonde bob dulled, her pinched face older, thinner, her eyes glinting with something he can't place, not fear, not shame, but a cold, quiet triumph. Malik's stomach twists, standing slow. "What the hell are you doing here?" His voice low, sharp, and she smirks, a small venomous curl of her lips. "I came to see the damage, kid. You thought you won, didn't you?" Her tone dripping with disdain, like she's savoring his pain. He steps closer, fists clenching. "You started this, you called the cops, you lied," and she shrugs, her posture relaxed. "I just lit the match. Malik, you and your mom fanned the flames. But I'm still standing." Untouched. His blood runs cold. Her words a jab, and he snaps. "Grant's locked up, his crew's gone, you're nothing now," but she laughs. A dry, cutting sound. "Oh, you sweet, naive boy. I funded them, every dime, the firebomb, the bomb, even that mill. Trap? My money kept them going, and they'll never trace it. I'm too clean." Malik's breath stops, his mind reeling. Evelyn, the boutique clerk, not just a racist, but the mastermind. Her smug face at his dad's grave, a slap he didn't see coming. "You're lying," he says, but she steps closer, her voice a whisper. "Am I? Who do you think paid Hargrove? Who kept Grant's boys in guns? I've got accounts they'll never find, and this isn't over. Not for you, not for her." Her eyes flicking to Vanessa at the car, oblivious. Malik's rage flares, his hand twitching to grab her, but she backs off, still smirking. "Good luck proving it, kid. You've got nothing." And she turns, walking away, her heels sinking into the grass, a ghost he can't touch. He staggers, the revelation a knife in his gut. Because Grant was the face, but Evelyn's the root, untouchable. Her money the fuel for every blow. Marcus's death. The mill. All of it. And she's free. taunting him at his dad's grave. He fumbles for his phone, hands shaking, and pulls a trick from his hack days. A tiny camera he'd rigged in his jacket for the mill, still live, still streaming to a cloud he'd forgotten to check. And there it is, her confession, grainy but clear. I funded them, every dime. Her voice a noose she doesn't know she's tied. He uploads it fast, tagging every outlet. Evelyn exposed, trending by nightfall. News exploding. Boutique clerk linked to terror plot. Public outrage mounts. And he sits on the porch, Vanessa beside him, her crutches propped, watching it unfold, her face hard. We've got her now, baby. She'll pay. But Evelyn's gone, vanished. Her house empty when feds raided, her accounts drained, a shadow slipping through their net. And Malik's victory sours because she's out there, her whisper haunting him. This isn't over. Vanessa grips his hand, her voice steel despite the limp. We've just begun, baby, we'll hunt her down, and he nods. Marcus's grave a spur, Evelyn's torn to fire. The war not won, just shifted. A new fight dawning as the Georgia night closes in, heavy with promise and peril. The tale of Malik Jackson and Vanessa unveils raw truths about resilience, systemic racism, and the cost of fighting back. Malik's journey teaches that courage isn't just facing danger, but persisting when every victory turns to ash. From a simple errand spiraling into a war against hate, he learns that innocence isn't a shield. Prejudice strikes regardless of evidence, twisting justice into a weapon. Vanessa's unwavering resolve shows that power, even when stripped, can be reclaimed through grit and love, yet it's not invincible. The system often protects its own, like Grant and Evelyn, over the innocent. The story hammers home that racism isn't just loud slurs or fists. It's quiet funding, rigged courts, and mobs cloaked as neighbors, a hydra regrowing heads when one's cut. Malik's tech-savvy defiance proves one voice can spark change. Toppling networks, but the cost, his dad's life, reveals justice is bittersweet, never erasing the scars. Evelyn's escape underscores a brutal lesson. Evil adapts, slipping through cracks to strike again, demanding constant vigilance. This isn't a fairy tale of triumph. It's a mirror to a world where battles for fairness rage on, where every step forward risks a fall. What's the takeaway? Stand tall, fight smart, but know the war's endless. Rest isn't an option when hate festers. So what's your move when the odds stack high? Comment below if you'd fight like Malik, hit like if this stirred your soul, subscribe for more raw truths, and share to wake others up. Thanks for riding this roller coaster with us. Here's to strength in the face of storms.